Hey guys, Joel's coming at you with another reasoning session, and today we're going to be talking about manifesting, faith, and whether taking action has anything to do with that whatsoever.
Come now and let us reason together. Come now, we can talk it over.
Now, a lot of people think faith is, you just think it and then poof, it happens. Or at least there will be a process to it happening. But faith is basically like you believe it until you see it. You don't have to take action because your conscious awareness is strong enough to make it happen. But that's not quite the case because James even says, faith without works is dead. But I'm going to point out a really interesting example that just jumped out at me in the Evangelion according to Mark, when a lady who was hemorrhaging for 12 years was healed instantaneously. And Jesus said it's because of her faith. But what was the catalyst that actually made that happen? We read in the 5th chapter, starting at verse 25, "And a certain woman, which had an issue of blood 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse." So here's a woman that suffered from this debilitating condition for 12 years, and she went to see physician after physician, right? Doctor after doctor. They couldn't even help her. She only got worse. But what happened? When she had heard of Jesus, came in the press behind, and touched his garment. For she said, "If I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole." So she heard Jesus was coming through town, and there was like crowds pressing in, just trying to see him, just trying to get close to him. But she came in the crowd and actually reached out and touched him. Why? For she said, "If I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole." And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. So immediately something manifested, right? This is what we all dream of. But what did Jesus do? And Jesus immediately, knowing in himself that virtue or power, the Greek word is actually dunamos, where we get the word dynamite from, had gone out of him, turned him about in the press and said, "Who touched my clothes?" And his disciples said unto him, "You see the multitude thronging you, and you say, 'Who touched me?'" And he looked round about to see her who had done this thing. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him and told him all the truth. And here's the key. And he said unto her, "Daughter, your faith has made you whole. Go in peace and be whole of your plague." He said her faith has made her whole. But what did she say? She says, "If I can touch his clothes, I'll be made whole." That touching is an action. But so often we think that faith is just in our heads. We have to believe it till we see it happen. Well, we have to believe it. Yes, we have to believe it before it happens. But without corresponding action, that faith is worthless because we live in a physical dimension. We are physical beings. And in order to get things to play out in this physical realm, events have to unfold. Action has to be undertaken, and that action is the language of faith, because otherwise faith is silent, faith is dead, and there will be no outcome. So your action has to match, and it has to actually be in line with bringing it to pass. It might just be something simple like this woman did, but as long as you're acting out on that assurance, because faith is the assurance of what you're hoping for. And that assurance is the evidence of what's unseen, because in the mind's eye, it is seen. And in the mind's eye, it sees the end from the beginning, and that is a reality. So that is the anchor you hold on to, and that propels you through corresponding action. And that's why faith involves taking action, because it's that action that proves what's really in here. If you believe it, but you don't take the action, that's actually a manifestation of doubt. There's some level of doubt in there, and you think that it should come to me without me having to do anything. No, you have to be a participant in the unfolding in order for you to be a participant in the outcome. And that's how to manifest whatever's in your heart. You take the appropriate action, whatever your heart's guiding you to do. It might be something out of the ordinary, like touching someone's clothes, and then your hemorrhage goes away. But that action, when you're convinced in here, that is what manifests realities beyond whatever the ego could fathom. So put your faith into action, manifest your best life yet, and we can all take part in a utopia together. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next reasoning sesh. Joel signing out once again. Agape, Salaam, Namaste, Shalom.